Hello everyone, this week I'm doing collective worship and the theme this week is wisdom. And we're going to be learning about somebody who was a very wise lady who celebrated an important anniversary this year, and it was yesterday. So the story is about Florence Nightingale, and if you have been in Key Stage 1 already, you will have learned about her probably in year 2. And we're going to learn her story. So Florence Nightingale was born to William and Frances Nightingale on the 12th of May in 1820. When Florence was 17 years old, she had a calling from God to campaign for better care in hospitals. And then in 1845, when she was 35 years old, Florence decided that she wanted to be a nurse. 8 years later, Florence became a superintendent at a women's medical centre, which was an important job. And in the same year, the Crimean War began, and we're going to have a look at a map that shows us where Crimea, which was its name then, used to be. So this is the United Kingdom, and all the way over here is Crimea, so near Russia. Florence worked hard to clean up the hospitals and to help save the soldiers that were injured. She soon became known as the Lady of the Lamp, as she would continue to care for people throughout the night using just a candle-lit lamp, because electricity wasn't around in those days. In 1855, Florence set up a foundation to raise money to train more nurses, and that foundation still exists today. It's called the Florence Nightingale Foundation. In 1856, the Crimean War ended, and the following year, Florence returned home to London. In 1859, she began the Nightingale School for Nurses, and this continues to this day. She was awarded a very special Royal Red Cross from Queen Victoria for all of the work that she did throughout her life. And in 1896, unfortunately, she became very poorly and she died on the 13th of August in 1910. So yesterday was the 12th of May. And as you recall from the slide that I showed you earlier, it was Florence's birthday. She was born 200 years ago to the day yesterday. And it coincided with International Nurses Day, which is a special day where nurses are celebrated, and it's even more special this year because of all of the hard work that all medical staff, but particularly nurses and doctors, are doing in hospitals at the moment, caring for people who are poorly. And people were asked to shine a light in their window to mark International Nurses Day, and the light represents the light that Florence Nightingale used to shine too. So what does God say about wisdom? Florence Nightingale was a wise lady, and she built her life around what God wanted her to do. So this is our reading for this week, and the reading is from Matthew 7, verses 24 to 27, and it's the wise and the foolish builders. So I'm going to read it to you. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down and the streams rose and the winds blew and beat down against the house, but it did not fall because it was built on a foundation of rock. But everyone who hears these words of mine and does not put them into practice is like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. The rain will come down, the streams rise, and the winds blew and beat against that house, but it fell with a great crash. And this is a parable, so it's a bit like a metaphor, and it's saying that if you follow God's word and you listen to what God asks you to do and you build your life around that, then when bad things happen and things are difficult in your life, God will be there to help you because you will have built your life around him. And that's what Christians believe. So that's our reading for this week. Now, when I was at school, I learned a song about that, and I want to show you that song now. So I'm just going to put it on so that we can listen to it and watch the actions, and then maybe next time we're all together again, we can practice it together. So we are going to have a little bit of time now just to reflect and think about being wise and using wisdom in our life and doing the right thing. So, and we're going to have a think about all the nurses and doctors that are working really hard at the moment. So if you want to, you can close your eyes, or you can just look at the candle. There's one here and there's one up here. And we're going to say a prayer. So, dear God, thank you for all the doctors and nurses that are working so hard for us at the moment in hospitals. Thank you for all the carers and the people that work in supermarkets and the people that are helping everybody at this really difficult time. Thank you that we can always ask for your help. And thank you that if we build our lives around the things that you know that you can help us with, we will be safe in your arms. Thank you, God. Amen.